Welcome back. We're looking at the challenges facing dispossessed people through the eyes of Native American Indians, just as the U.S. celebrates Thanksgiving Day. For many American Indians, it's a day that marks the start of their demise. Well, discussing these issues with us is Russell Means, one of America's best-known American Indian activists and a member of the Lakota Indian tribe. Let's get back to a question from Anwar in Paris, who's been patiently waiting on the phone. Anwar, thank you.
Thank you, Riaz, as well. Hello. I would like to ask your guest that he pronounced very strong sentences about United States, such as that United States the biggest liar, etc., etc. I would like to ask Mr. Russell, Mr. Means, by saying this, would you expressing yourself that you are a very honest person, sincere person, or by saying this you are making yourself shameful because you are as American as well. You are an American as well. So could you explain us what exactly you mean? Thank you.
So I guess Russell, what Don was asking is, I mean, by making these such strong statements, are you shaming yourself as an American?
I have never been legally an American by Americans' own policies. Anytime an American Indian lives on a reservation, he is no longer an American citizen. We are not afforded any protections of any constitution. We are subject to all types of rape. When we move off the reservation, give up our land, then we're considered Americans. Until that time, we were considered Americans for the draft, to fight their wars, but they illegally, United States of America is the only country in modern history that has made citizens of people without asking them. They never asked us. They did that so that they could have an excuse to violate their own constitution and their treaties. As I've mentioned, everything in American history is a lie.
Well, Russell, let me get back to Barack Obama, because a lot of people have put a lot of hope in him. And, I mean, as much as you are obviously very down on the concept of the American government and presidency, let me ask you, at the end of the White House Tribal Leaders Summit at the beginning of November, President Obama pledged to come up with a plan to make U.S. Government work better with tribal governments and with the tribal leaders. I mean, doesn't that give some kind of hope that there is at least someone willing to take some steps? I mean, I know you say he's the good cop in a good cop, bad cop scenario, but you have to give someone at least an opportunity to improve things.
Not when he appoints the rulers and the oligarchy of America as his mantra, as his assistants, when in reality they're his boss. But let me tell you something about American Indian history and presidents. It's always a photo op. Not one question from any American Indian leader that was there was allowed. No questions, no accusations, nothing. The point that Obama made in his photo op is another promise. Clinton waited until the end of his presidency for his American Indian photo op. Reagan did it during the course of his 8 years as president, and on and on. Carter did it in 4 years. Every president gets a photo op with their befeathered, colonized idiots, and that's what I call them. You know, they are, I'm sorry, they break their nose every time a white man stops, and in this case, now it's a black man.
Let me ask you a question that came in from our live station chat room, people online talking about this as we go out live. David in D.C., referring to Thomas and Jefferson's support for the a state's right to secede from the Union, asks, did Thomas Jefferson write about non-state territories and how they might separate themselves from the federal system?
He did write this, which I feel should be known, is that all of the Western Hemisphere, the entire Americas, should become the United States of America. Failing that, at least down to the Isthmus of Panama, should become America. He was an imperialist, and he also wrote that the American Indian, and I'll use his word, should be annihilated. That will solve the Indian problem.
We had a Native American Indian viewer called John from the Choctaw Nation write in thanking you for your activism, Russell, and he asked this question: what do you believe are the next steps for American Indians to secure our civil rights and to be most constructive for the future of our nations? Do you feel that true sovereignty and independence from the U.S. is attainable, and should we appeal to the UN for support?
We do it the way the Palestinians have done it. We take control of our children. No longer do we throw them away to the white man for 12 years or however long they go to school. We control our own schools. I don't care if we have any money or not. We take control of our schools and quit throwing them away. I was thrown away. My mother was thrown away, forced away, really. The point being, though, is we do not take control of our children. We really, literally, and figuratively throw them away. That's the solution. We control our children.
We've got a caller on the line from Jordan. Good to hear from there. Amr, your question, please.
Yes, I would like to express my thanks to Mr. Russell Means, for I am of a Palestinian origin and I have lived in the States for 16 years. I was taking part in the National Mourning Day in Plymouth, and I would like to say that the genocide committed against the natives of America is the most forgotten cause, and it is, however, the most strong cause, because after 600 or 700 years of genocidal policies, the struggle continues. So hats up for you, my friend Russell Means, and we support you all the way. We are Palestinians, and I hope that one day you will be able to reach our point of reclaiming back Turtle Island.
Amr, thank you very much for joining us and adding your comments from Jordan there. Russell, you've also been struggling for recognition of the Lakota lands for the Lakota state, the Republic of Lakota. What progress have you made since we last spoke? Have you been able to make any headway? I know you took some fairly strong actions, tried to find some legal means.
Yes, we have now, in the process of thanking the United States for recognizing us as a republic. And now we're going, and in the same breath, we are asking them to vacate our lands. The other thing is that we've made contact with other countries, specifically a very strong European, or I don't know if they consider themselves European, but we've made contact with their government, and we are in the process of sending a delegation over there for consultation and for assistance of any and every kind.
We've got a quick call in here, I think, from Belgium. Evan, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, Mr. Russell, and good evening to the host of the program. My name is Edin, and I'm coming originally from Bosnia, but I live in Belgium.
Okay.
I would like to ask Mr. Russell, the plan to create one state, it asks a lot, as for example, to increase their own population, to be more strong in all the aspects, what is the schools and these kind of things, to stop the alcohol, drugs, and so on. That's like one of the big issues, as I heard, if it's true, in the community. And in the end, I would like to just say that big support to the Indians, and just go on for your own country and your land.
All right. Eddie, thank you very much for that. Russell, just before we've got just a couple of minutes left, I want to ask you about you're about to perform on stage for the first time. You're going to be performing in a play from December into January called Palestine, New Mexico. Tell me the theme of that, because I think you say that has echoes for people around the world to relate to.
Yes, and specifically the Middle East. It's about Indians in America who are feuding, but we come to find out the big secret is they share the same blood, and consequently they should come together. And in the play, they do come together. It's very pointedly directed at the Palestinian conflict with Israel, and that's why it's called Palestine, New Mexico. So it's a very liberalized view, at least in America it's liberalized, view of what should happen in the Middle East, specifically about Palestine.
Well, Russell, it's going to be good to see you performing again. Of course, you've been known for your performances in Hollywood with Daniel Day-Lewis in The Last of the Mohicans, which you said was one of the better portrayals of Native American Indians. I want to thank you for joining us on this day, a special day for, in different ways for people around the world. And thanks again for talking about your cause. We hope to get you back on sometime soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Russell Means there. And thank you for joining us with your questions too. Remember, you can watch a podcast of the show on iTunes. This week we're featuring a discussion with financial guru Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. On the next show, an Israeli historian turns basic Jewish history upside down and creates a totally new vision of a Jewish future. Shlomo Sand presents an alternative and highly controversial view of Israel's claim to the Holy Land. Make sure you see that show. There's going to be some interesting debate going with that. And send in your questions in advance, of course. You can send us emails or SMSs. From me and the team, we'll see you next time.